If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan, and Amy's under the weather, so it's just Dan and me and my many personalities. Kristen McQuarrie, friend of the show, interesting piece in the Tribune. When will the DIBS system come to Nashville, Tennessee, Charleston, South Carolina, Dallas, Texas, pretty much anywhere in Florida, Scottsdale, Arizona? When are the denizens of those locations going to learn about front rooms and dibs and D's, dem, and does? Dear Tennessee, sorry about the Illinois exodus, writes McQuarrie. I'd like to offer apology and counsel to Tennesseans. The influx of newcomers clogging your thoroughfares, the eroding of your small-town charm, and the opening of deep-dish pizza parlors will not slow anytime soon. We're replacing your dive bar barbecue with our pizza and craft beers. We're barging into your comforting southern twang with hard vowels and incomplete sentences. We're invading at record pace, so get used to it. And she's of course, referencing the exodus from Illinois. And Chicago, by the way, again, lowest population level since 1920. And that it will increase in pace when you have the killer P's, Pritzker and Preckwinkle. Pritzker as governor, and perhaps Cook County Board President Toni Preckwinkle as mayor. She's getting into the race. I said it yesterday and reported it yesterday in the outlets that I started because it's happening next week. Chicago press corps a little slow on the uptake. What else is new? Rahm Emanuel's raised property taxes on city residents 6 of the last 7 years. Cook County Board President Queen Sugar supports a 2% of home value statewide property tax increase, and has been actively backing pro-property tax hike candidates for all local offices. Of course she has. She's a socialist. She's an SEIU flack. SEIU and CTU went to her to recruit her to run with Rahm out of the way. Going to be the killer P's in Chicago and Illinois in November and February and April. For more on this discussion, as the field takes shape, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Dr. Willie Wilson, who is also a candidate for mayor. Willie, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dan, thank you for having it. It's been a long time, you know?
So you staying in the race if Preckwinkle and Bill Daley get in?
I'm staying in the race. My advice for them is to stay out of the race.
Well, I'm sure that is your advice for them, but they're not taking it. So how does Toni Preckwinkle's interest, let's just focus on her, how does that change the dynamic for you? I mean, particularly as it pertains to competing for the black vote.
Well, I'm competing for all of the vote, to be honest with you. White, black, Latina, Asian American, all of Chicago. I think that people like Preckwinkle, she's one of the calls for these taxes that has gone up, you know, like taxes on homes and things of that nature, and all the rest of them. They have not done anything about the taxes at all. They haven't said a word. They take, they let people property be bought out underneath them and don't say nothing, get bill passed. I'm the one that goes in and pay out of my pocket to help some of them save their homes. So all of them need to be investigated, to be quite honest with you, because this is wrong how the people, the politicians put in office, and then they take and let people come along and shorten their time from 12 months to 8 months and let people take and buy the property. 11,000 people lost their home from this kind of mess here about 2 or 3 months ago. When they first shortened it, it was over 70,000 homes on the block. And I goes in, take my money, and help. These other politicians let rich people that are scavengers come by and take people home. It's just wrong. I mean, these are crime. People been in their home all their life. So these people that trying to run for office haven't said anything, haven't put no money up, haven't even done nothing, but they passed laws to take from the poor and the middle class.
Well, that's right, they do. There's no question about that. There's also no question that, as laudable as it is, that you put your own money out there to help people, and as successful as you've been in life, you don't have enough money to help everybody that needs helping in Chicago. A few people do. And so structurally, in terms of policy, what would you do different than what people like Tony Preckwinkle have done and proposed when it pertains to property taxes and just the overall tax burden in Chicago?
Well, we'll do something in either. First off, we wouldn't allow people to come in and buy from underneath them, for example. We'll make sure we manage the situation the right way. A lot of things is mismanagement. People helping their friends become rich, things of that nature. We'll manage our property, our city of Chicago. We'll manage our budget like I manage my budget in my business. Those guys manage the budget on taxpayer dollar and back. But, I would take to put those structures in place, make sure it don't raise any taxes, keep taxes lower by managing the budget, get the waste out of management, bid out contract that people can come in and bid properly and right without having their friends take and didn't have no bid, just giving them to them, those type of things. I would make sure that all the property set up an account that if people lose their home because of sickness, loss of job and things of that nature, put a plan together that they can pay their property tax over a period of time.
Well,
don't just take their home and rob the poor. I would put those things in place and check.
Okay, but what about the property taxes that people are being forced to pay? You got to get to the underlying issue here. You're talking about the highest property taxes in the nation, in the state of Illinois. Residential is subsidized by commercial in Cook County, so in some places in Chicago it's less pronounced, but not all. And as you said correctly, it redlines poor and disproportionately minority neighborhoods the worst. But here's the deal. Property taxes are driven by what? Local government spending. And CPS, billed property taxpayers, has increased its billing of property taxpayers by 50% in the last 20 years in real dollars, while the student population has actually declined 5%. So if you're not willing to address government spend, then you're not going to be able to address property tax relief.
Well, we'll be able to do it because, first of all, you got people in office in government. They're self-serving. They're serving their friends and themselves and things of that nature. You don't raise taxes and run people out of the city, jobs out of the city. You manage it by lowering taxes and keep people going to Indiana and different places out like that. And also you bring in revenues. I'm for the airport be open back up there, Mag Field. I'm for bringing in,
me too. It'd be
casino.
Convenient for me.
I'm for legalizing marijuana and taxing it, and people pay taxes and find revenues that way. So the whole situation is mismanagement, Dan. Total mismanagement.
Okay.
People to do things. It ain't that. And look, one year in my business, I found myself, because of the pressure and stuff and prices over in China, at $72 million in debt, like overnight. Mm-hmm. I came out of there less than 2 or 3 years and managed my way out of there by management. These people have no experience in business, except for business taking the people taxpayer dollars, All
right. Well, what about what Tiny Dancer wants to do on his way out the door, which is borrow another $10 billion to stave off the implosion of the Chicago police and fire pension funds, which are both under 25% funded? Is borrowing more and layering on more future burdens on children and grandchildren in Chicago the way to go, or should we be talking about structural reform of these pension systems?
Well, a lot of people in that pension plans have lost out. What we got to do is find ways to take and pay those people pension that they worked 30 or 40 years and 50 years. You do it this way. Again, you got to look at the revenue situation. Let's say they're $3 billion in debt. This place, city of Chicago, all right? You can take the marijuana stuff, look at the record, take the casino, look at the record of these other states and places like that people bring it into place. You can take all of that and add that up and add the mismanagement up and straighten this situation out.
That adds up.
It is
I mean,
mismanagement.
that adds up to $30 billion because that's the unfunded liability just with those two systems.
Well, yeah, but how much mismanagement stuff that this mayor, these politicians doing and taking. The other thing is that a lot of the empty property, the buildings and things like that, sitting vacant there, nobody in them. You got to create economic empowerment within the city to create jobs, and that take taxes and get it off the poor and everything. I tell you, just like if your house, you got to pay your bill, you got to manage it, otherwise you lose it. All right. These people in the office and politicians look at their record. Who would be stupid enough to take from people pension and then put it somewhere else and ain't got the money to pay it back? You know, the mayor right now and the other politicians sit by and don't say nothing. All of them need to be investigated and put in jail.
All the politicians put in jail. That sounds like a good start.
Well, let's say
it's
the
almost
majority.
Shakespearean.
Let's say the majority of them anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's against the law to take people's property, and it's against the law for a politician being in office and not saying nothing to other people do it. If it was me, I'd be hanging up on State Madison.
Okay. I want to get your take on the consent decree that is being negotiated. Apparently, there's a tentative agreement in place that this consent decree, Chicago Police, of course. And part of that tentative agreement includes a procedure where police officers have to radio in the use of a gun to Office of Emergency Management that will link information electronically with CPD reports and body camera footage. So, in other words, they have to report every time they take their gun out of their holster, even if they don't fire. Do you think that kind of oversight is a good idea, or it is excessive micromanagement of officers?
Well, you have to put things in place to watch some of these police officers. Now, you got good police officers, and you got some bad, of course, but you have to manage this situation. Too many people are losing their lives out there. When I'm in my car, police pull me aside, I got to keep my hand on the steering wheel.
So do I.
Evident of that about people who's in Cook County Jail for misdemeanor and nonviolent and don't know why they're in there. And police like the Van Dyke or Quan McDonald's thing shoot a person 16 times. How many times you got to die? And then to do things like that. And I don't want to say this too. Whoever, I think it's the Sun-Times Tribune, whatever it may be, somebody gave that interview to him as an officer in trial. Just think if that was me. No way that would have happened, you know? But, yeah, they need to be taken and watch over. You need people watch over, like a review board, not tied by the hands of the mayor, but independently. Because, you know, but you have to watch it because too many people are losing their lives, you know?
Too many people are losing their lives, but, I mean, just in terms of rank order prioritizing, in 2018, 4 people have been killed and 9 people have been wounded in police-involved shootings. Overall, 1,767 people have been shot and wounded, and 341 have been killed, 400 shot and killed, 400 homicides overall by non-police actors. So what about, and of course, a majority of the perpetrators in the cases solved, as well as victims, are African-American. So what about that violence?
Well, the violence that a lot of African Americans doing now, that you look at it that way, there's no jobs and things in the community. You know, the mayor is taking the tax dollars, okay, and putting it downtown and putting it in other neighborhoods. They don't have economic equality in the city of Chicago. If you take from somebody, all right, don't ever put nothing in there, then you come around and close like 50 schools. You're setting up a community to fail. You're not even looking at none of that. The violence comes down by making sure you have economic jobs and contract within the community.
How did you
like downtown, like O'Hare, that violence will come down.
How did you react when Superintendent Johnson said at Rahm Emanuel's behest that the violence is contained to 4 of the city's 21 police districts as a way to essentially trying to convince people the violence isn't as bad as we think it is, or it's not the whole city that's the problem. Most of the city's safe. It's just these 4 districts. But the use of the word contained, did you have a problem with that description at all?
Well, I have a problem with first off, the police, not whether he happens to be African American now, but doesn't care what color you are, it doesn't matter. But when you talk about violence contained to a 4 area or whether 8 area or 1, it's too much. I think people who begin to talk like that should look at themselves, and they should probably take a prescription and go and see Dr. What's his name? Dr. R, Dr. Phil, or something like that, because look, killing been going up, all right? Violence been going up. Why? No economic equality within those communities, job and business there. There are, if crime going up, putting more money and more police into the area doesn't do it. Try to put in there the job and the, economic job, equality, things of that nature. Try that versus continuing to put more police off and spend money and spend billions of dollars on O'Hare Airport or River Rock, Try putting them $1 billion in those neighborhoods. You see it goes down. When people make comment like that, something's wrong with them. And plus, he's handpicked by the mayor. Handpicked by the mayor of the city of Chicago. That have been a failure all this administration. So he's out, and he should go before his time is up. So
you're talking Eddie Johnson should go, or just Rahm should go?
Well, both of them should go.
Both of them should go. Okay.
He's taking orders from Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson taking orders from the mayor. I mean, it's time for people to come out Sparrow, Army, plantation.
All right.
Both of them is the same,
He is Dr. Willie Wilson, Democrat for mayor of Chicago. We the people, not we the party. That's what Willie Wilson's tagline. Get more information at williewilsonformayor.com. williewilsonformayor.com. Willie, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Appreciate you. Talk to you later.
Take care. And he joined us on the Turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou